Welcome back, everyone, to Screenos with
Steven?
and me, Uriah, as your host, bringing you thoughts on all things film and TV related. Today, we will be talking about the first MCU movie to ever release, Iron Man. This came out in 2008. It grossed over $585 million on its $140 million budget. And Robert Downey Jr. starred as Tony Stark in this film and also Iron Man, and we watched it a couple hours ago and wanted to talk briefly about the story and characters.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to be talking about is, I guess, just how the Marvel movies have changed over the years. I
Yeah,
really, you look back and the tone of this film is a lot different, a lot more brutal than a lot of more modern MCU movies, which tend to be more lighthearted.
did John Favreau or whatever, did he direct this one?
Yes, Jon Favreau directed this first Iron Man
All
film.
right, yeah, that would make a little sense. It does. I am getting a little Mandalorian vibes. Not gonna lie.
I remember while watching, we were both shocked at how Jon Favreau looks as he's a lot younger.
I know you didn't even recognize him. I said, look at Happy. Happy's pretty skinny, and you said, what are you talking about? And you're like,
I'm
oh,
like, that's Happy,
Oh,
huh?
that's yeah, that's Happy. That was so funny. I was so surprised you didn't recognize him. Let's talk about Tony Stark's character development during the film. I feel like they really went far with his character. Like it didn't seem like a long time of his character being stretched out and developed. It kind of felt like he gradually became a nicer person and more intelligent to what was actually going on around him. Did you feel that?
Yeah, and obviously as the movies went on, it more and more changed, but he did have some good character development in just this standalone
Yeah.
film.
I think the thing that I didn't like about that was how fast his character developed, like, because I don't feel like they gave enough room or story for the other films to have his character develop any more than it already was.
Mhm.
We can see that it has developed in the other Iron Man movies, but there's really not much room to work with, I feel like, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even then, that was because they didn't really know that they were going to get a sequel. This is in a time where Iron Man wasn't very popular of a character, and he really was. They were really just testing the water with this film, hoping
Yeah,
it would stick.
yeah. So the villain of the film, Obadiah Stane, uh, was he a good villain?
I think in general, I really enjoyed him
Yeah,
than a lot of later MCU villains.
yeah. He's definitely. I feel like he's definitely a little bit different. He does kind of remind me of Thanos a little bit. Was it the same actor who played? Definitely a different sort of vibe than the rest of the Marvel movie villains. I felt like the rest of them kind of just meshed together, and they kind of really didn't have their own story. I felt like a lot of them were like stolen from. It felt like, you know.
I think a lot of them were just kind of like generic villains for
Right,
a good
right.
chunk of the MCU.
Yeah, I mean, and speaking of generic, the bald guy in the film who was like Arabian or something,
The one with
right?
the scar on his face.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's supposed to be Red Skull in Captain America, but they took him out. No, I'm joking. uh,
I was laughing. I made a joke about how he looks just like every other generic villain because he's just bald, got a
yeah,
kind of a
he looked
frown.
like Captain Cold from The Flash or something, sort of.
He looked like that one guy from Jumanji, the next or
Oh
Welcome to the
yeah, yeah,
Jungle.
he
Yeah,
did. He looked
he
a little
might be
bit
the
like
same
Deadpool
guy.
too. Yeah.
He
Oh, same
also
guy.
reminded me. I might be. He looks
Okay.
really similar. He
Yeah.
also looked like he might have been from the Mummy.
Did you think he was villainous enough though, Obadiah? Did you like how he portrayed the character?
I think the actor's portrayal was really, really good. He had a presence to him that I think just really, when he was in that room, he controlled the room and
Yeah.
he was very threatening.
Yeah, I was gonna say he was like threatening, but in like his own unique way, like
Hmm.
where he doesn't have to be threatening, you know. But it's like
Hmm.
he comes across as threatening, which is a good aspect for a villain to have, I think.
The CGI of the film tended to be a little more of a mixed bag. I did find some of the scenes obviously to be really good.
Yeah.
Anything you noticed that was really off?
Yeah, I noticed when Pepper was escaping from the building. I think the first time she went through with the FBI agents when she was leaving, Ironmonger came up from the ground, and that looked really terrible. Like it looked like it was pasted on there. It didn't even look like the road.
Hmm.
It was just bad. That was like the main part, I think. I don't know if Disney went back and updated it a little bit. Did you think they did or no?
I don't think they touched it.
Okay, yeah. Probably George,
I also noticed.
probably George Lucas went in there and edited it a little bit for us. He was trapped in a cave with Jensen for a little while, and then uh, Jensen just died, right?
I hated that. I love this character,
Like he literally just chased out a bunch of guys. I don't know why they're afraid of him. They're like trained.
Han Solo
Yeah,
style.
Han Solo style. And then they all like shot him or something. But then they put him on a bed. I don't understand why they did that. When they in Iron Man 2, we're jumping ahead a little bit here, but when they changed the actor for who played Rhodey from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle, what do you think about that? You think that was a good decision?
I don't hate the guy they have now, but the original guy. I'm sorry, I don't remember their actors' names, but the original guy had a charm to him.
It was definitely a different feeling with him as that character, I feel like.
I just he didn't get enough time.
So clearly this movie did really well in the box office, and it was
Hmm.
really, I felt like it was really popular around people I knew too, because it was like, okay, so this might be the start of something new, something that studios wouldn't
Hmm.
do before, entering into a world full of superheroes that are all in the same universe. That was something that was never really captured before in cinema. So that was really cool. Uh,
Yeah, that kind of started with the end credit scene for Hulk, where it had Tony Stark make an appearance,
yeah, yeah.
and I guess the end credit scene for this film.
I wanted to say one more thing before we closed out.
I am Iron Man.
Thank you all for joining. Once again, I'm Uriah,
I'm Steven.
and we want to thank you for listening to our podcast. It means a lot to us, and we have a great time doing it. We hope to see you next time when you hear us again. Bring our thoughts on all things film and TV related. It'd be nice if you could put the "I am Iron Man" at the end, and then we'll edit this into the right there in between that.
It would be, wouldn't it?
This is gonna be a nightmare in the editing room.